All eyes are on the new tariffs that drop from Trump tonight, which have also been dropping the markets. So this backlash, what happened today, was up and down, while still down trillions overall since this all kicked in middle of last week. And then by the end of it, you're going to see sinking to new lows.
It is 3 a.m. in Beijing, where, according to the White House, in just 9 hours, the world's second biggest economy will be blasted by President Trump's tariff bazooka.
We're living in crazy town right now, and the markets are swinging wildly. There's extreme volatility.
After trillions of dollars wiped out in a days-long tariff spiral, U.S. markets are starting to bounce back.
Obviously, the markets remain volatile.
Stocks are surging today following a volatile session yesterday.
The tariff turmoil is prompting economists to revise up their recession probabilities.
You outlined just how dramatic the open has been in Europe this morning. It's not overstating it to say it's carnage or a bloodbath.
Carnage, bloodbath, new lows after what were new lows. So, you know the old expression about not being a day trader. That's generally a negative because you have to look at long-term realities and not the hourly reverberations. But if you were a day trader, today was another bad day, coming off several days where we've lost over $6 trillion. Now, I mentioned you coming up, and you see it on your screen, that we have this MAGA buyer's remorse segment where we look at, in a special report, how some prominent MAGA voices are talking about the millions they're losing and telling their audiences about that. So we're going to get to that, which has political implications. But first, as we're going to continue to do as long as this is the big problem, self-induced by Trump in America, I'm going to show you the numbers. The top 500 companies, down 12% since Thursday, losing over another point today. The Dow Jones, down 11% since Thursday and losing just about a point today. The House now has more Republicans who want to potentially defy Trump by trying to limit at least his tariff power. And remember, it is rare in the last 70-plus days that I come on the air, any of us anchors come on and tell you about Republicans wanting to limit anything by Trump. But this one, apparently a bridge too far for some. Remember, over in the Senate, 7 Republicans have already signed on, specifically put their names on the line in their home state and saying, yeah, even if Trump is popular or they're worried about a primary or popular in a red state, they sign on to at least check the trade authority and what many see as costly tariffs. Both parties also grilling Trump's trade representative today. This was from a Republican senator.
I understand that you are the trade rep. So if you own this decision, then I'll look to you to figure out if we're going to be successful. If you don't own the decision, I'm just trying to figure out whose throat I get to choke. If it's wrong.
Who gets choked? Meanwhile, Trump's Treasury Secretary was at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. There's reports on what the goals were there. Politico saying the secretary's view is the markets will keep melting unless you shift. You have to talk about negotiating. That would be an off-ramp to the current plan, by the way, and quote what the end game is. We've got top CEOs saying it's a moment to own up to a colossal mistake and change course, or America will face ruin for years to come. Another mega donor, super influential Republican, Ken Langone, says the whole thing is just BS. Another very influential Trump supporter who knows his way around business, whether you want to hand the keys to the business people at all times. This is a business problem we're facing. He is a supporter, and he just says, look, it was a huge mistake. Let's fix it. Elon Musk using his power to directly appeal to Trump to, again, try to at least back down, back off, or completely reverse course if they can get him to do so. And this brings us to a figure you may recognize from many past Trump stories, Peter Navarro. His expertise or his portfolio, he says, is trade. This is his thing. He's one of the lead advisors on the tariffs. But Elon Musk is saying he is, quote, dumber than a sack of bricks and a, quote, moron. Those are Musk's terms, not our terms in the news business. And Mr. Navarro has been on this program before and is welcome to come back. We've talked about many topics, but this was a conflict that involves a lot of personal attacks. Mr. Navarro saying Elon Musk is nothing but a car assembler, not a real car creator. The truth is that in the role as lead trade advisor, Mr. Navarro has been kind of more in the thick of it now than ever. And as you may recall, he's been in the thick of many Trump stories. But his approach on tariffs is also drawing some jokes.
Is this a negotiation? The president made it clear yesterday this is not a negotiation.
Let me make this very clear. This is not a negotiation. This is not that. This is a national emergency.
Okay, it's a national emergency. It's not a negotiation. Well, I don't agree, but at least I have some clarity now.
The tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Always have.
Notice that's one of those Daily Show jokes or punchlines where he just showed actual footage and then made a face. But basically, whatever Mr. Navarro was asserting there was undercut by the president. Nicole Wallace mentioned this once in some of our coverage. Mr. Navarro, by the way, has what they call hawkish or strong views on tariffs. The buck stops with Donald Trump, who apparently has sent people out on what looks like, at a minimum, being as fair as possible, mixed messaging amidst these failures. That was the same day that Navarro also said in writing it's, quote, not a negotiation. The buzzword negotiation matters a lot because either we're stuck with this, which is why Wall Street and others are so concerned that Trump could stubbornly just leave us in this spot indefinitely, and those trillions wouldn't magically come back. Nobody thinks that. Or he would, in some way, change course. Negotiation is one of those key words that can sound tough or diplomatic, or anyone can be open to negotiation in theory, but negotiation to what? To something other than these massive market-rattling tariffs. Now, on top of all that, the White House posted and deleted its X or Twitter share of the Navarro op-ed about the negotiation. And he's not the only one, to be clear, facing this type of whiplash. Consider this. A Republican pollster saying Trump was elected to lower inflation, juice the economy. Higher prices and slower growth, which is what the tariffs are doing, is the, quote, opposite of what Americans voted for, end quote. And then you go out to the country where many people, many Americans, whether they're highly invested in the markets or not, are concerned.
This is not what people voted for. I know people that voted for Donald Trump. This is not what they voted for.
I went to a county that Trump won by 20 points. Hundreds of people showing up and saying, I'm a Republican. I voted for Trump, and this is not what I voted for.
I vote for Trump and is not what I vote for.
So that's all the facts we have and some of the reaction. Next, I want to turn to something that is so important with the political realities, whether more Republicans sign on, whether Trump's tariff authorities are limited, which could happen. What happens in our democracy that has been so downgraded? Well, interestingly, some of the most prominent Trump supporters and MAGA voices are losing millions in real time. They're honestly sharing about it, to their credit. That's part of what they say to their audience. Hey, I'll keep it real with you. And the repercussions are something you have to see to believe.